Ripple XRP says Grayscale has just said this in one of their reports, and the fact that XRP could potentially be an alternative to Swift. We also have some news in regards to Wall Street and how they are always winning. JP Morgan has now been slapped with another fine. It really doesn't surprise me, but we're going to take a look at this one. Also, Gemini Exchange has actually come out with some riddles for the XRP community. We're going to take a look to see what this actually means, and we do have a recent interview with Monica Long, the Ripple president, and of course the price action for XRP coin today. All I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So Grayscale, as we know, the recent news is the fact that they actually added XRP coin to their digital large cap fund. Now this is very important because now the digital large cap fund does comprise of 2.5% of XRP, and I think that their assets under management is over $300 million. We have over here that Grayscale spotlights XRP as an alternative to Swift for cross-border payments. Now you may have seen this news, you may have not, but I just wanted to highlight it to you, and so you can actually see that XRP has actually been in the spotlight. And you'll see over here it says that according to the Grayscale report, XRP is designed as an alternative to Swift due to its attractive features in terms of cross-border payments. And they said, and I quote, XRP aims to offer fast cross-border payments at lower transaction costs than competitors. And the recent report from Grayscale has triggered speculation that the firm might be looking to resume support for XRP amid its push to transform the GBTC trust to a spot Bitcoin ETF. And recall that Grayscale held XRP in its GDLC product and XRP trust. Well, that speculation was very much correct because this article actually came out last year in November, and it goes to show that 2 months later, when they actually got the spot Bitcoin ETFs approved and everything was done, who added XRP into their fund? Well, it was Grayscale. And so when it comes with these speculations, this one was a true one. Now, we do know that it could potentially be an alternative to Swift. Of course, I still think that Swift will be a major player in terms of the payments already, because they already conduct trillions in terms of the transactions, and so they do have a hold in the market. But don't forget that the Bank of International for Settlements have actually put Ripple XRP down as one of the task force partners, as well as Swift. So Ripple XRP are actually in there in terms of the technology and within that game alongside with Swift. And so just goes to show that we are actually being taken seriously as well. So this is pretty good to see, and I just wanted to highlight this to you, that Grayscale, not only have they actually pointed this out in the report, but they did actually add to their digital large cap fund, and if their position does increase, I will actually let you guys know. So Wall Street always wins. That is something that we should all know by now. Again, it is always the big players and institutions that will essentially never lose. It says over here from Chad that Wall Street has done what Wall Street does best. It takes an asset and sells a product for a premium price, like a mob skimming off the top. The high volumes means the banks and fund managers are making a killing. They smell the blood in the water now. And as we know with these spot Bitcoin ETFs, what happened within the first couple of days of trading? Well, we saw roughly around about 3.4 billion in the amount of inflows for that ETS. We saw a lot of money coming in. I mean, Forbes also spoke about this as well. We saw many articles of them talking about the fact that we could potentially be seeing an earthquake coming in and so much capital coming in if these ETFs were approved, and that happened.
Wall Street did what Wall Street does best. It took a risky asset and made a market. It subsumed Bitcoin into the system before Bitcoin could build its own system. And now it's also reaping the rewards. Here's Xrp Grayscale. So one of the sneaky, kind of under the radar winners in this whole ETF story, Bitcoin ETF story, is actually the Wall Street Bank. So they're what are known as the authorized participants. They're sometimes called the APs. You've got names like JP Morgan, Jane Street, Cantor Fitzgerald on this list of the trading desks who are behind the scenes. They're creating and redeeming shares. But as part of that, they're basically picking up the breadcrumbs. They're taking a slice of each transaction. If there's a lot of volume going into these Bitcoin ETFs, which has been the case in the last few trading days, they're the ones really winning on the back end.
And the irony, even some of Bitcoin's biggest critics will end up the biggest winners of the ETFs.
The banks, especially JP Morgan and their trading desks, are going to make some money on it.
And that goes to show, guys, that JP Morgan was one of the authorized participants. And we know that JP Morgan, the CEO Jamie Dimon, said that he would shut down crypto if he were part of the government. I mean, how can he revive himself back from this? How can anyone ever trust what he says? It goes to show that he is basically a fraud if he was talking about Bitcoin like that. Yet the company that he works for got into the spot Bitcoin ETS as an authorized participant. And this is why I always say to not believe what these big institutions and these big banks do, because we have some news regarding JP Morgan. A matter of fact, another fine again We've seen many fines with JP Morgan and their anti-money laundering schemes, and this is why I believe that Elizabeth Warren should actually be confronting them and not talking about cryptocurrency in a bad way. Let's take a look at this one, guys. Just a couple of days ago, you can see that JP Morgan has now been slapped with another fine, and they have to pay $18 million over whistleblower protection violations. Let's have a look at what this is. So it says over here that JP Morgan's impeded hundreds of advisory clients and brokerage customers from reporting potential securities law violations to financial regulators, adding that the company also agreed to cease the alleged violations. And from March 2022 through to July 2023, the firm asked retail clients to sign confidential agreements if they were issued a credit or settlement from JPM of more than $1,000. The SEC said the agreements required the clients to keep the underlying facts of the regulators. And of course, we've not had a response for JP Morgan. And so another fine that JP Morgan has, I'm not quite sure of the actual number in terms of the amount of fines that they've been given so far. I've actually lost count, but it could be anywhere from around maybe just say 100 million to about 300 million. They've been in so many anti-money laundering schemes, but it goes to show what the banks essentially can get away with, because yes, whilst they have been fined, they are still continuing their operations. It's not like as if they're going to be losing a lot of money anyway, and they're still going to make so much more. So let's take a look at what Gemini has come out with. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this. Maybe something could be happening, maybe not, but Gemini, the exchange, have actually posted a few tweets. It says over here, don't forget about XRP, excited about XRP, and also X arriving shortly. And then they actually posted this riddle a couple of hours ago: in the land of giants I'm swift and small, when I run I don't stall, across borders I freely roam, in markets near and far from home what am I? And the answer will be posted in 24 hours, and so we'll probably see the answer tomorrow. And so some people are saying it could potentially be to do with XRP because of the fact that it has swift in here. I mean, in relation to these couple of tweets that we've had, I don't think that it is of significance. You can't really derive what it actually is meaning, other than the fact that they've just basically plugged XRP. I think it's kind of like what we've seen with Uphold as well before, when they posted tweets about can XRP reach X amount of price. I don't think that there is as much importance, but it does seem like as if they are reeling in the XRP community. Now let's take a look at what Monica Long has said, who is the president of Ripple, talking about the crypto winter.
You know, there's when crypto hits crypto summer, it's hot and everyone wants to be a part of this industry. And I definitely have noticed in this latest winter, even the pitch decks from different developers that we used to see, maybe back in 2022 that were all about Web3, they now flip to AI as the headline of what they're selling.
Right, they might be coming back now. So
yeah. So don't be the sheep that follows the herd in the times of winter. You could see that. I guess my advice is to lean into the future. I know that right now, regulatory climate, where's the UX going to fall? Is the ETF going to get approved? Like, where does the world stand on crypto blockchain? Also, frankly, just in the wake of some of the big headlines around Binance and FTX, there's this kind of cloud over the industry. With taking on risk comes great reward. And I think that, from a purpose standpoint, being a part of building this future is really meaningful.
So she highlights the fact that you shouldn't be these sheep, you shouldn't be following the herd, which I definitely agree with. Always do what you think is best, and of course with high risk does come high reward, but make sure that you also mitigate with how much risk that you take. I also think it's very important how she has highlighted the regulatory climate. As we know, we also have Coinbase going through the lawsuit, as well as Ripple, of course, and that Coinbase's lawsuit could potentially end somewhere around about the same time as Ripple, which could potentially be April or May. We'll have to see whether or not the SEC delays that, but there is a lot of things happening in terms of this year for 2024, and a big shift can actually be coming in cryptocurrency. Now, before we have a look at the price action for today, I just want to show you some news that we have from Gold Telegraph. A senator from Florida is warning that the recent expansion of BRICS threatens the SWIFT payment system and America's ability to weaponize the dollar. So as we know, in terms of the BRICS, they have actually been able to get a few countries now on board in terms of deciding the alternative currency. I think 3 out of the 5 countries have now agreed to use this alternative currency, and I think that we're just waiting on the other 2 countries in terms of what they will say. But this is a very new development. It's only beginning, and of course it will have some sort of impact on the US dollar. I don't think it's going to be imminent. However, we could potentially see something in the future as we only progress. So for the price action for XRP coin, we are currently trading at 0.527, and you'll see over here that in the earlier hours of the morning we were actually trading at 0.547, so we have come down by about 2 cents. Now on the 1 week we are down by 8.8%, on the day we are down by 4.7%, and we were actually doing pretty good. On the 1 week we were at 58 cents. We have come down by 6 cents now. We did actually take that dip in between to 0.529. Now we were actually able to recover a little bit just to this 55-cent level. Unfortunately we weren't able to hold it, so it seems like as if we are mirroring that movement. On the 1 month chart we are down by 14.1%, and you can see now where we are. We could potentially be retracing back to 50 cents if we lose that momentum and that support line. But let's see if we were able to stay within this level between 53 to 55 cents. Guys, if you want daily Ripple XRP coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.